Om. Namaste, welcome everyone to Satsang here at Parmath, Niketan today. Beautiful day and a great pleasure for me to be here, sitting so close to Mother Ganga, and let's hope Satsang will also flow like Ganga today. I'd like to welcome all those who are joining us via broadcasting. We're very happy that we're able to broadcast these satsangs so that the friends in different parts of the world could actually share with satsang in real time with us here in Rishikesh. So big welcome to all of you. And so just a few days ago I was here also, and we, I think, got off to a good start in this explaining a little about the nature of the self, and that the real goal and the highest opportunity, but the real goal is not somewhere else. However mature you are as a seeker, and whatever your practice or religion or spiritual discipline, your goal is within you. And what is beautiful about this, it does not require your creativity to discover it. It is already perfect. It cannot be made more perfect. It can only be perfectly recognized. And when it is recognized so profoundly with your mind and heart and your complete being, it will dispel all doubts, and that this is not merely something that can be achieved through intellectual conviction, but only through the profound recognition that arises in the heart, the direct experience. And by experience, I don't mean the experience which is born of time, meaning all experiences have a beginning and an end. So that's not what I'm referring to when I speak about the self, because the self has no beginning and has no end. So I don't talk about the self very much. I leave the rest to your own fresh discovery. If we talk about it, it becomes a kind of theory, and it is not a theory, unless we only attempt to have an intellectual understanding of it. So this discussion began a few days ago. I would like us to continue. Many of you were here a few days ago when we had our first satsang. Today will be the final satsang here for now, but we continue having satsangs on the other side of the water at Sri Satanchananda Ashram near Sri Dayananda's ashram. Anyone who wants to find out, who feels to go more deeply into this, you may come and visit us there, except for Monday and Tuesdays. But today is today, now is now. Let's see what comes in our time together. I'm very happy that so many people are here, and very much look forward to our interaction. I will say only one thing. I will try, and I'm asking you to try and stay away as much as possible from too much lengthy stories and too much background and personal details, and really treat this moment and this opportunity as though it is your only chance and you have no more time left to waste. And so I feel any question, any inquiry that arises with that attitude will be very engaging for everyone. Each one who comes in a genuine way, you will find that whatever takes place as a result of our interaction will be beneficial for many people, if not all, actually. So, thank you for this. Who is coming up? Who is, one? Please come. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste. Because it's one question,
Okay.
I try to write it down.
Okay.
I can see Ramana Maharshi sitting next to you. And my understanding is that, from what I read, is that Bhagavan was not caring much about his body. So is that right? This understanding?
Continue.
And we are in a yoga festival, all working hard on our bodies. If he didn't care that much about his body,
Yes.
do you still recommend us to work hard on our body practice? Or rather go for the who I am exploring recommendation he's making?
Yes.
That's the question.
One does not cancel out the other. You may continue to practice yoga. Yoga is, of all the exercises and physical disciplines and mental disciplines, yoga is also highly recommended, no? But if it remains only as a physical and mental endeavor, then I can say there's further to go. And for this reason, Gyan Yoga also, which is the yoga of self-realization, is also regarded as yoga, no? And you made a very good start, a very good question. You pointed out a picture of Sri Ramana Maharshi, and also you may as well include Sri Papa in that, that they did not seem to be beings who put focus so much on their physical form. And should I myself be recommending that you don't concentrate on your form? It is fine to do this. Many people, many yogis are here and far healthier than I am. Physically, I know that. I can learn something from you, I'm sure. But today we're emphasizing and looking at the inner yoga, the inner self. The purpose, ultimately, of all true striving must be for that which is eternal in ourselves. If yoga remains only at the physical, on a physical platform, then we know that the body, the physical body, is the aspect of ourself which is in time, and also in time it has a beginning, it also will have an end. That's not to say you should not practice your yoga. It helps you to have a very healthy life, a very clear mind, and all of these things is good. But to awaken to the true self, your timeless being, your limitless being, I don't hear it emphasizing so strongly in the general sort of, realm of yoga thinking and so on. So I have come to introduce this and to show you very, very much that it is not necessarily in conflict. Why should any life that you live should be healthy? At the bodily level, mental level, but to the yoga of understanding, the yoga of self-realization must be your highest, in fact. Because all that you see, all that you experience or imagine from any region of time, one day will be gone. So the body you need to experience these things also is passing. It's like a burning candle also. Don't regard this as a negative outlook. It is a fact, no? That's not to say one should not keep the body healthy, because it belongs to time, of course. Keep it healthy. Myself, I'd rather be healthy than to be poorly in body. But so complete is the self that as you discover this, nothing is missing. Nothing is missing at that inmost place. And by inmost, I'm not talking about something deep, deep, deep or far, far away. It is right here, underlying the facade of personhood, the play of the senses and the mind. All of that is in a flux. All of this, thoughts, sensations, time, ideas, everything are like clouds passing in the infinite sky. But there is something inside that is not passing, that never grows old, that is timeless, that is imperishable. And I would like that you take a chance, or what may seem to the mind as a risk, to find that rather than only hear about it. There are many beings who feel that is a kind of fantasy. It is a kind of spiritual fantasy. It does not exist. To those, I would say, if you're open enough, come and sit a little bit. Be open enough to look. If you're not open, nothing is possible. But if you're open to explore more deeply and more profoundly, then perhaps any other exploration can reveal, then this is a path that will bear fruit very quickly also. If you are very much drawn to this opportunity of awakening, I will not prescribe for you months or years and say, look, if you keep going for a few years, you'll become an expert. There's no expert realizer of the self. Something may be already present in you, the opportunity, that may unfold this very day even, and that will be so transformative, it will leave no doubt, at least no doubt will survive as you begin to explore with the pointers I will make to you today, if I get the opportunity, that is. So you're right, Sri Ramana Maharshi did not emphasize so much about focusing on the physical form. He did, however, prescribe that it is good, if you want to conduct a more meditative life, that it is best to eat sattvic food. He said that is good. If you have a very, very racy mind, then sattvic food will help to stabilize that type of agitated mental state. But beyond that, he said, no, let's go straight to the point. Yes, let's find, while you have time, find the timeless. That was his approach. And that approach appeals to myself and any other being who feels I must find that as soon as possible. Thank you. Good. Next one. Okay, please come as because you can. This is where the microphone is. I'm sorry, we're not able to pass the microphone right to the back. If you really feel that you'll have a question, you may make your way down towards the front, and then when an opportunity comes, we'll ask you to to step to the microphone.
Namaste, Mooji.
Namaste.
I wanted to ask your permission if I could read your beautiful poem from this book, White Fire.
Okay, very good.
I read it yesterday and really struck me because I think it perfectly reflects or describes the relationship between us here and you, why you're here. It's called I Wish to Meet You. But I don't want to meet the therapy person. Apart from the therapy person, the one with a complex. Does anybody here have anything left to meet? I don't even want to talk about meeting, actually, because to meet is not the ultimate. Meeting is already late. Something is there before meeting. I want to meet the one before the concept of meeting. How? You have to drop everything, including the notion of I, which gives you the sense of pride and individual autonomy. Like this, you empty yourself completely. Don't avoid this opportunity. Do it now and speak from what remains. This must be discovered today. Now, how long will your inquiry go on? Thank you. This was so beautiful. This poem touched my heart so deeply. And the book is beautiful. I recommend to everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope we meet you today.
Okay, very good.
100%.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
How do you truly surrender to what is beyond the intellectual understanding? And is it the same as witnessing consciousness, no matter what goes inside?
Mm. How do you surrender something? Actually, the person cannot surrender everything. The person is also a form of consciousness, but very, very limited, very much prone to psychological behavior and thinking. So the person is a more unstable state of consciousness, prone to feelings of insecurity because it has the belief that it is primarily the body and the sense of presence or a person living in the body, a conditioned person. So you ask, how can we really surrender actually beyond the concept of some intellectual idea? You may surrender many things. You may surrender your experiences, you may surrender your possessions, you may surrender the intellect, your desires and attachment. But ultimately, if you say, how do you really surrender everything, then you may also try and surrender the one who surrenders also. You have to surrender the surrenderer also. How to do this? Because you surrender everything, but still you're left out of the picture. But the only thing worth surrendering is yourself. What does it mean? What does surrender mean, you see? And so you ask also, is it the same as
The witnessing consciousness,
witnessing?
does it lead to surrender to what is? To that
surrender
state of no mind? And
to surrender to what is. Who is going to do it? Who knows what is? If you really know what is, you must already be one with what is. You understand? Otherwise, you only have a concept of what is. And if you have only a concept of what is, how will you really surrender? You won't trust it. The person doesn't trust much. And especially, you will not trust that which threatens your existence as a person. So it will be a little bit of a kind of game that is not taken seriously. So very often people are drawn to the concept of surrendering, and they say, yes, I offer this, and I really give my time, and I give this, and these are good up to a point. But what is the point of giving everything and retaining still the idea you have of who you are? It is the idea you have of who you are that in some way is clouding the whole picture. The idea you have of who you are is blocking the realization of the pure self, which is actually what you are. This needs to be understood, you see. And so I don't feel that any authentic teacher or a master would ask you in the beginning to surrender anything because they know you cannot do it. It is too hard. People will surrender what is comfortable. I give you some of this. But the real thing, so it looks like surrender, but it's not really surrender, you see. How would you meet anyone and be willing to surrender everything? It has to be that the meeting with such a being is so impactful that in 1 second you're willing to drop everything. Have you ever had any such meeting? Even sometimes you meet somebody and you fall in love on the first date. And some people, they want to throw everything in this love because of the spark of love. You see? It's a kind of craziness, and I think you need a little bit to be crazy to be free. If you are too stiff, you'll always be calculating. Well, check it out, and, you know. But so surrender is not for everybody immediately. As you are discovering more and you feel more adjusted and feel more comfortable and feel more, then you want to give more. Something is on fire. And a true teacher does not want things. What are things? They are only, again, perishable. Just a bit of fun, that's all. Things are not the problem. Only maybe your attachment to things may be a problem. So I don't feel to be asking you for things. And, you know, give me your money, give me your house, give me your wife, give me your... No. What are they going to do with it? They already have transcended that. They must say, give me your undivided attention for a little bit. Enough to apply my advice to you and see if it bears fruit in you. This is something. You follow? I want to ask people at the back, can you hear? Very good. Here it sounds very echoey, I have to say. Is this sounding like this to you? We are good down there, so only I will suffer. Okay, yeah. Would you like to say something more, or it's enough for the moment?
No, just one thing.
Go ahead.
I did not mean possessions or
Say?
anything. When I meant surrender, I did not mean about possessions,
Yes.
but the present moment awareness. How do we really achieve that beyond the intellectual understanding? We get sometimes
Present moment awareness, you must go beyond the kind of what you would call the cliche of saying present moment awareness. Present moment awareness just simply mean you as you are now. It's nothing more than that. You are awareness now. You see? You cannot listen to a bird sing tomorrow or yesterday. It has to happen in your nowness. You don't need to surrender to present moment awareness. You are present moment awareness. There's no difference between yourself and present moment awareness. It's a very simple thing. What is good is to be able to discard a lot of useless concepts. You don't need to believe 10, 15 things. You really do not. In fact, it's not about more and more. It's not about adding, but more subtracting maybe. That's probably more useful. But the truth is not even requiring you adding or subtracting. It is straightforward enough if you have the openness to and the capacity at the moment to really grasp the pointing. It is direct. And I want someone to come like that. If you speak about surrendering, it takes time, mostly, to keep surrendering. Is there anything in you that doesn't take time? Everything takes time. To meditate, it takes time also. To evolve, it takes time. Everything takes time. Is there not something that takes no time? Can I ask like that? Everything, if you want to do something, it will take time. Even to undo something, it takes time. Everything takes time. What is it that does not take time?
To be yourself.
He said to be yourself. It's a perfect answer, in fact. But what do you mean by yourself? This is where we have a difference. Because you may feel to be yourself is just to go with your mind and do what you want. But that's not the self that is that which is the realization of truth. That won't be the self.
Thank you.
Okay. Good. Next one. Come, please.
Namaste.
Namaste.
I have a question about love.
About love, okay.
Yeah. Is unconditional love possible in romantic relationship? And what is love? Thank you.
Is unconditional love possible inside a romantic relationship? And also, second part, what is love? Unconditional love must begin with yourself. It must start in a place where you are free of need. You have to be free of need. Free from, deep desires. You must be so established inside your own self in the most natural way. Then when you're in a relationship, it's not because you need one, and that love that flows from you can fill any vessel, in fact. That love will not just stop at the person next to you only. It is open, and I'm going to qualify this because this is easily misunderstood. This love takes many forms. It's the love that can be portrayed in the love you have for your family, for your parents, for your children, for your friends, for your husband, or the love you have for your teacher. Or this love can fill many vessels like that. But you will never be drained. You see? It wants nothing back. It's not loving as a trade. Not, I will love you if you love me back. It's not a deal. It's simply, it cannot help loving. In every encounter, it will find the highest interaction. It always serves to harmonize. The person, you see, tends to be more selfish and vulnerable because this is an identity that's limited to the body and the conditioning that the body is exposed to. So the person, or living life personally, is quite a bit of a vulnerable state. And when you're vulnerable, fear will come. And if there's fear, love will not blossom to its fullness. You see? Because when you are threatened, the reflex is to destroy and to hurt. But in a higher state of consciousness, your reflex will be to love and to harmonize and to support and to give space for things to breathe and to grow and to come to their fullness. That is the perfume of this unconditional love. It must begin with you. It doesn't start with a relationship. It must begin in a place of wholeness, and within that wholeness, it becomes really universal. And yet at the same time, it can be in a relationship, has a romantic dimension to it, because your relationship should not be limited to romantic. Your romance should be also your best friend. You should be able to speak your heart. You should not have to, you have to be able to be nothing also. I want to explain like this because once someone say, Guruji, thank you for allowing me to be nothing, to be nobody. And it is so powerful because if you are in the strong belief of being a person, we're so easily uncomfortable with others because it's not your true state, because others represent a kind of competitiveness. You look, you want to impress, or you want to be accepted, or it's like you're not yourself. You become something. You begin to perform more. You try to get attention or to impress or to... You see, all of these forces are coming together when you are living in the mode, the limited mode of personhood. You see? So, when you love someone, you have to also be able to forget yourself. The love makes you forget yourself personally. Then you're totally complete. When you are by yourself, do you always remember yourself? It's when you're alone you can relax so much. You can forget yourself, meaning to forget to be something. This is what I mean by being nothing. It's a great space. It's a great space to be able to be out of shape. You see? I don't mean out of shape. I'm talking about out of form, out of psychological self-consciousness. You see? All this is aspects of that beautiful love. There's a peace about love also. You see? And peace comes when you are relaxed in your being. And then there's trust also. This flows also. You're trusting, but you don't pour yourself out completely. But trust arises within your being. You see? You're not desperate. You're not desperate for love. And even if you're rejected, you will feel the pain, but you'll know you're fine also. So there are so many facets, so much dimension to that fullness of love that you're speaking about. So don't limit it only to romance, you see? Unless it's the divine romance, in which case that love is so open in the most, I'm not talking about open love, like jumping around the place. I'm talking about open, meaning that your love is a love for life and the source of life itself. Then such a being is rare. All have the capacity, but few realize that capacity. And it's a beautiful flowering. It's a beautiful state of being. You see? We need more examples. The world does not need so much more teachings or more teachers even. It needs examples of truth. It needs to see beings whose lives are the evidence of truth. Your life must be the proof that God exists. You see? Not just what we say. We can say many things, write many things, but it has to tally up with the presence that you are also. Must reflect that deeper understanding. And that capacity is in you to realize that. The fullness of that is in you. It is fundamentally what you are. But it must also flourish and show itself in the tangible world also.
Namaste.
Namaste.
My question may be a little hypothetical because we sense with limited 5 sense organs. Now, when we talk of self-realization, if these five senses have to realize something, how does it realize?
The senses, yeah.
Like, what is the, when we see something, what is the eye of the eye? What is the mind of the mind? How do we understand that? And how do we so-called realize ourselves? Because our realization, our experience is more or less limited to the five sense organs that
Only
we have.
because of conditioning. Only because of conditioning and not because of the actuality of your being. The senses in themselves, the sense organs, are not the perceiver. They are the instrument through which one can perceive. It's the mind that perceives the information that travels through the senses. Then what perceives the mind is what you're asking.
Yes.
What perceives the mind?
What is the, whether it is a subconscious or a conscious mind?
Why don't you just find out now? Because I don't want to give you more theory. You know that the object of the senses you know. If there's a lovely smell of a nice bit of,
Flower.
Flower. Okay, let's say flowers. I was thinking more like something like a curry. But anyhow, I suppose a flower come. I don't know why, but suppose the smell of flowers is coming. The flower comes. Then the smell is there. Then that instrument, that say the nose, you say it smells, but it's the mind that smells. The information that comes through the nostrils or the nose. Then you say the mind smells it, or interprets that as, oh yes, that is really good, I like that, I would like to get some of this. Then what perceives the mind?
Yes.
First of all, let me ask you, is the mind perceived?
Mind too may be having a perceiver?
No, you don't have to suppose, you speak from your experience, no? You know that the mind also, what you call mind, actually there's no object called mind. There's an object called brain, but there's no object called mind. Mind is simply the flow of thoughts and sensations being perceived.
How do the memories are stored in the mind then?
How is the memory got stored in the mind?
Yes.
You really want to know that?
Hanji.
You're a scientist?
No.
You don't need to know that. What you need to know is that somehow you have the capacity to remember things. Okay? And that you are also the one who knows memory. You see? And its content. You are able to say, my memory is not as good as it used to be, isn't it? So there must be something that is greater than memory to say my memory is not as good as it used to be. It must look at memory to say that. Just like you go to the opticians, you say, my eyes are not so good. The right eye is about 80%. The left eye is about 45. So something is looking at sight. You follow, or have I gone too far? So something is able to observe the capacity and ability of seeing. To say, in the right eye, it's about 80%. In the left, maybe it's about only 40. What is seeing? Seeing. You see, first we know that the fact is that it is perceived. Also, memory. Something says, my memory. And my memory is not as good as it used to be. So something is there to observe the accuracy of memory, isn't it? So that must be more subtle than memory.
But then how do we reach the self-realization? With which senses we realize the self?
Well, let's just continue and you may get answered. So if even memory is observed, your senses are observed, you can also say other things. My sense of smell is disappearing. I'm not able to taste things. Something is aware of all these functions, so it cannot be those functions. Let's try and see now. You may say, That is your watch. It's my watch. It's not me. It belongs to me, isn't it?
Yes.
You also say my senses. My senses are not working so. My eyesight is not so good. My sight, not me. I am the weakness of sight. You follow?
So is it
No,
something beyond
follow.
five? Yes, I do.
Follow.
I do.
Then you can also say, my body is totally exhausted. My body. It belongs to something that is calling to itself my body. So the body is a possession of it. It's not it. You can say, my mind also is confused. So something is watching confused mind. It is not the mind. You can say, oh, my faith, I've changed my faith. So your belief system also, it's not it. It can observe your belief. You can say that my powers of discernment or my intellectual capacity has lessened. It is not the intellect. It observes the intellect also, my intellect. You can say, my consciousness, it is appearing in my consciousness even. So it is even able to observe consciousness and the activities of consciousness. Who is it? You are able to say all these things. You say your relationship is finished, or you may lose a member of your family. You say, oh, my life is over. My life? So it's not even the life you're talking about. Who is it that's speaking these things? Then you're left with I. Let's leave all the things that I've mentioned. It's not the senses. It's not the mind. It says my mind. It sees mind. It's not the mind. It's not thoughts. It's not sensation. It's not the intellect. It's not memory. It's not the body. It's not the thinking process. It's not time. Then what still remains if you leave all these things aside? Still the feeling I is left.
Self.
Tell me something about the self that is left.
My question is, how do we realize this?
But isn't it when you say the self is left, isn't that not a realization?
Is it with the intuition?
Intuition also, my intuition, you say. I listen to my intuition. My intuition, also intuition, it is not, it is more subtle than intuition. Please, I am not here to mesmerize you. I'm simply pointing to a fact that you overlook. If all these things are stripped away, everything that you can imagine stripped away, because they are an association. They are not the fundamental self. My sight, my mind, my wife, my life, my career, all these things can go, and still something is left that says, now they're all gone. Then what is that's left then? Experience it. Don't just think about it.
Probably the self.
Huh?
The self. That remains.
Yes.
The I.
Is that a question or an affirmation?
Both. An affirmation with the doubt.
The doubt is also seen. The affirmation is also seen. Don't give this to your mind. Follow the line of this inquiry and find what is left as you experience this. It need not be another hypothesis. It is factual, actual, here and now. What is left? The question is not just for you, for anyone who perceives and follows. You see, it is obvious, but you deny it. It is obvious, but your mind goes, yeah, okay, but anyway, boom. No, not that. stop and digest your finding and marinate in it. I have not given you any spiritual gymnastics to do. Simply look and for a moment stop identifying and combining your essential sense of self with its functions for a moment, and you will isolate all of these things and tell me when you reach this place if you are lacking something or not. Please, someone, because you ask questions, then you must be able to experience the answers.
The self.
Is that the answer or you?
Answer.
Then also answer you, see?
So it is me.
It has to mean something a bit more than that. And that's what reflects back. Maybe you're asking merely from a mental posture.
But we have a limitation of language to express this.
No, you need not express. You cannot express it. You can only be it. Who are you? Are you other than it to express it? You're it. And whatever expression arises after the fact of your recognition, that happens spontaneously.
Right.
Yes. It must not stay as a mental conclusion. This is what makes all the difference. If you really inside your heart you are yearning for true freedom, then this will completely burn all that is untrue in you. But first your mind is saying, kind of. And you're accepting that because you accepted the last time and the time before that and time before that. And again, we miss the obvious. You are the answer you are seeking. You are the destination you are seeking, but not your personality, not your idea of you.
So it's something beyond what we think we are.
Yes, but why are you speaking as though it's some kind of abstraction now? It is you. You are that something which is beyond your conception about you.
Yes.
But it has to be, you see, it has to be sat with, and just when someone has come to this point of recognition, I often say to them, go home and zip yourself inside your sleeping bag like a jacket potato and just marinate in yourself, and don't come out until the bag throws you out. Just stay there. But if you go to chai shop, you will cover yourself again in a lot of nonsense. That is the difference, you see. Someone will, after satsang, after feeling the impact of that recognition, they will not want to talk to anybody. They just want to go home. You see? You will not be stopping any place to be entertained. It is too valuable. Someone once asked Papaji, at such a moment, how will you be with it when you have to go through the marketplace of life? How will you preserve this? He says, go through the marketplace as though you have diarrhea. Yes. When you have diarrhea, you will not be saying, hi George, how are you? Let's have a coffee. And no, you'll be making your way very quickly and you will not see anything, just go, and you keep your realization with you. You will not be stopping for a chai and, yes, can I have a mimosa, please? Can we have a whatever it is? You see? It will be that important for you. It will be that concentrated. And that is called true self-respect. Because you will feel in your heart you have found the most valuable thing in the whole world. But your mind can easily turn it into just another concept. And it's doing it all the time with your cooperation. Yeah. You can live without your psychological mind, but it cannot live without you. You are the greater power, but you must come to know this in an authentic way. So this is why the word self-realization is to realize what you actually are, rather than what you are conditioned to believe you are. Okay, thank you. Next one.
Lots of love, Muji.
Thank you.
Some astrological revelation made me realize
You speak slowly for me, please, darling.
Yeah. Some astrological revelation last year made me realize that everything is predestined.
Everything is predestined.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Like the past I have gone through and the choices I make, decisions I made was predestined.
Yes.
That made me realize.
So I want you all to hear this. She's saying that some astrological finding or discovery or revelation made her realize that everything is predestined. You see? That's what she's saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are some laws of universe that is making everything worked out.
There are some laws of the universe that's making everything, it's already worked everything out. Okay. Yeah.
So it made me like a kind of passive state of mind, like I am not doing anything.
Yes. Okay.
Means I don't have a sense of achievement, I don't have a sense of pride,
Yes.
I don't have a sense of doing anything, like it's just being nothing. Means you can't do anything. So it made me like being just passive and not doing any efforts.
Yes, but you're not happy, are you?
Yeah, I'm not happy because because that findings were not good. That was in a bad way.
Yes. In a way, it is true. There is nothing that, in the field of concepts, no concept is complete. You see? And that's why they're so multitudinous. There's so many concepts. And you have to move in the field of concepts, and as you grow into a concentrated understanding of self, automatically you come to understand in a more auspicious way, a more organic way. You're not just using your mind, speculating and so on. So this knowledge, that everything is preordained, is talking about the body-mind identity, not about the self. You understand? It is said that even in the Bible, Jesus says, not even one hair on your head can fall out without the will of God. You see? It's a similar kind of thing, put in a different cultural expression. You see? That all the things, even if you blink and stuff like that or whatever, all of this is already somehow part of it's already written on some level. Now someone may say, that is really suffocating concept. It's like, I'm not free to do anything. It's not like that. Somebody may say, but I'm free to do what I want. I can change my mind 115 times and a half if I want. And another answer may come, yes, because you are destined to change it like that. Someone may find it very, very liberating. Another may find it very suffocating. I don't feel that you need to be. At some point you may come to an understanding which does not trouble you about these things. But when you're listening to them as a person, in a personal mode of thinking, then yes, it it feels like a very negative discovery.
Yes.
And you feel lethargic and, well, what's the point then? I mean,
Yeah.
I can't be creative because it's, it's all written. Forget about it. Do what you can. If you've understood it in the right way, it will still say you cannot move outside of what is cosmically destined for this body-mind to do. But you are more than your body-mind. You are the being, and there's no karma for your being. There's no karma or destiny for your true self. When you discover this, everything becomes conceptual. Come on, talk it out. Come, tell me.
I'm not clear actually.
Yes. Don't hold on to anything for a moment. Don't hold on to anything about what you've heard, about this thing about, everything is predestined and stuff. Just forget about it. Forget for a moment even about what kind of life you'd prefer to be living and all of these things. Don't engage with anything mentally or conceptually for a moment. Just leave everything. Like it's all
Yeah,
just
I'm doing
trained
like
away.
that only. I'm
Yes.
doing like that only.
Yes.
But it made me like, means moment to moment I'm just living. So it made me restless kind of.
Don't even identify with that also.
Okay. So it's just means being like a leaf kind of thing, means you are not doing anything, you are just running from moment to moment. From one moment to another moment.
My body-mind function may be playing like this, but because I am behind it and I am myself, I enjoy its play.
So it's just means I just have to enjoy the play only. Means I don't have to do anything. Like I don't have to change anything. I don't have to do any efforts.
The trouble is not what you do or not do, but who you're taking yourself to be. When he says, I don't have to do this, and so I have to try and I, who is this I? What is the content of the I that you're using now? Who is it? What is it? When you say I, what do you mean by I? Your person? Your conditioned mind?
I means energy. My energy.
My energy is not me. It's just activity, and I observe them.
It's a part of some power, some universal power. It's a part of some universal power.
What observes this? What would know this?
Nobody.
Is it not you? Some place in yourself knows this? Or imagines this? Go to that place. Even if you feel you're behaving like something is stuck here, and no matter what I say, you just got this brick in your head at the moment, and you can't shake it off. It says everything is destined, including what he says is destined, and even how I understand it is destined. I mean, it's miserable. I'm destined to be miserable. It is not like that. This is why I would prefer to tell you, don't go and practice all these lots of different things for fun. Better if you find a good guide who gets you to that point, and then from that place of centeredness, you will understand things in their proper context more. You see? Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm just taking life as I have to enjoy every moment it comes as it is.
You can't.
So, you can't.
No. You can't enjoy every moment as it is. You don't know it as it is yet.
Okay.
You see? It's still being flavored by the herbs and spices of your conditioned mind. You have to be totally empty in order to see things as they are. If you're not empty, everything you look with an opinion. You have to be empty. And the egoic mind is afraid to be empty. This is why I ask you, leave everything for a moment. Please, anyone here, if you want to do it, you can experience something today. Leave everything. I promise you, we'll give it back to you when you want it back. But for a moment, I believe you can spare a few moments to at least try this exercise right now. Stop holding on to any notions, even like, I want to be awake. Even this, I would say, leave that for a moment. Leave your past and your story and what you have done and all. Just leave all of these things just for a moment. Okay? Just leave everything for a moment. Leave everything. Whatever you can take out, take out. Until there's nothing left to take out. Nothing left to leave. Okay? It shouldn't take long. And now, in this spaciousness, this empty space, and don't be waiting for something also. Just be empty for a minute. So there's no definition of you, no history. Now in this space, tell me if you are in a state of incompleteness. Just give it a break, give it a chance. In that empty space, without any intention, without any self-definition, is anything wrong and is anything missing?
Isn't it kind of boring being empty?
Body being empty?
Boring.
What?
Boring.
Boring. Is it being bored? But you're not doing the thing, you're just again speculating. Isn't it going to be boring if I'm empty? Boring? Well, if the one who's get bored is also out, the boring one is also, scooped out.
Thank you. I'm out now.
Huh?
I'm out.
You're out. What does it mean you're out?
Empty.
Yeah? Empty. Okay, then let's start there. In this empty space, your senses are still working, it's fine. If someone shows you a potato, you will not think that it's a horse. You say, oh, it's a potato. But still you're empty. You can be very empty. It's not a joke. I'm not just joking. And if something needs to be done, you'll be much more clear and much more awake and alert to somehow address it appropriately. You will see, but you have to experience and see if I'm speaking the truth or not. When you have a lot of ideas about how things are, you become very clumsy. You don't know which one to try. You have too many techniques. You don't know what to do. When you're empty, another power is moving through you. A power that is there in the base of your being, but you never discovered it. You see? All people, we don't have any trust in life because through conditioning, habit, we're always agitated and acting prematurely, too hurried. Because as your hypermind is slowing down, it has to slow down into a place of stillness and emptiness. And that overactive ego is fearful and impatient and restless. And so you never allow yourself to come to rest. You see? The mind starts to say, look, you're missing your chance. you're acting too late, you're going to miss your chance, and then somebody, whoa, keep running, each keep running, you see? It's as though you're pulling your parachute too early. You're still in the plane, pulling the parachute. So something in us is too hasty to see life in its beauty. You're too hurried. Nobody has time. Even the unemployed don't have time. Everybody is just in this type of agitated state. But you have to train a little bit to go past your panic zone a little bit and go past this until you come to the dimension of being. And then you see that life takes care of life. You have not understood this, and that's why you mistrust life. And always running for the quick fix. There are no quick fixes. You must learn to be in the proper synchronicity with the cosmic being. This is self-discovery. You cannot do that just with agitated mind. It is not consistent enough. You're all over the place. While you're having breakfast, you're thinking, okay, what's for lunch? What's for lunch? You know, when you're eating lunch, what's for dinner tonight? The mind is like this. What's the next thing? What's the next experience? What's the next fix? Next. You see? And this way you will not experience the peace that I'm speaking about, the love that I'm speaking of, the joy that I'm speaking of. This is a game that you must transcend, but transcend with wisdom. You must find that love. You must find your true position. Everybody's all over the place. Very little stability there. And yet, in this deep centeredness, there is a spontaneity there also. There's an intuitiveness. It is so rich. But we're living like beggars in your own kingdom. You don't know. And all this can change. For many it is changed and changing. Maybe you can be one of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one is who? There's a few people there, no? Okay, come, move. Yes. Okay, 5 minutes each one, come.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, and let's try then. And I need to observe that. Just observe the mind. Just observe the mind and the traffic of the mind and the thinking.
You don't have to be doing it all the time. You can begin to observe what you call your behavior, your mind's fluctuating tendencies. Observe them for a while, but remain detached as much as possible. Don't own the mind. Just observe. And if you look, you say, oh, wait a second, everything is just coming and going. It's just coming and going. Why try to hold on to something that's going anyway? Stay put. You are in the place of stillness. You can observe these things are going. But don't watch them like what's going on. Because sooner or later you'll get pulled back into that noise. You see? So you observe like that, and then soon you'll come to a realization that all of this is just, all these sensations are only tourists. They just come and go. And you don't have to get involved in them. And as you pay attention to the witnessing ability in you, you're coming to a stillness. You start to experience a stillness, a stability, a sort of a relaxation, a widening. You must do it. Even now you will find it out. You begin to observe, and at a short time you'll see that all that you're seeing as a mobility by itself, it's going by itself. even unforced. It's coming and going. The things that tend to stay are the things that you become attached to. The things that you have combined with yourself that hangs around more. And eventually, they become part of who you think you are. They got their own front door key to your house. But as you begin to observe and say, but wait a second, but that's just a sensation, that's looking. But put more attention on the space in which they come and that which is witnessing them. Put more attention there and things will turn around. There will be a changing over of power. You will stop hemorrhaging energy in the mind and begin to experience more a stable presence. And that presence will become more concentrated. And you will not feel that you are drifting so easy. You can speak with 15 people speaking with you, and at the same time you are just rooted in presence. You are not distracted. At the moment, for many people, a few words and they are distracted. So there's no strength, there's no concentration, there's no centeredness. So easily you're put off track, easily you're distracted. But as you begin to observe with detachment and you begin to experience more and more that the observer is stationary, but the thing observed is moving. Stay with the stillness and not just with the movement, and things will change. Your power will stay behind with you, and the things which come and go can come and go. This is a tremendous discovery, and it will keep, as you keep doing this, you will stop looking at things and simply be like the stage or the space in which they come and go. Feel the space in which they come and go. You don't have to be sitting in a chair all day to do this. Even if you sit for half an hour or 15 minutes and just keep looking, that half an hour will give you 6 hours more of complete centeredness. And go about, do what you have to do. But whatever gets done will be an activity moving in your stillness. Please put it to the test. And then if it doesn't work, you can say to me, I'm still around here. Oh, Muji, I tried it doesn't work. Or, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, this simple exercise, some people who have been coming to Satsang, one man came to interview me. And I showed him, we talked about this, what I'm sharing with you now. And he practiced it, and he works with prisoners. And they made a film, which they've just sent to me about a month and a half ago. And in there, they were talking with some people who have been in prison for a while, and just communicating this understanding to them. And the results is tremendous. Because these are people who can't just go about anyway. So they have time to look. And they look. And they speak and they say, my God, I didn't realize I can do this. I've always been just identifying with my activity and with who I think I am. And now I'm looking and I'm saying, wait, there's greater space here. And I found my stillness. I found my stillness. And these people are free in jail. More than people outside walking around, trapped in their own limited thinking. This is the power of what I'm pointing right now. This is why I'm so happy to take the opportunity to sit together and to explore. If you are open, you'll begin to experience results even as we're speaking. Because all it requires is your own attention turning inwardly to see if this is resonating inside your heart or not. You see, it is not difficult.
It's a little difficult.
Huh?
It's a little difficult.
It really feels difficult.
It's a little difficult, yes. The
Really?
mind always distract. and forget and forget.
The mind does not
Forget and
distract.
forget.
You get distracted.
Yes, I forget to observe.
But each time you forget and each time you remember, come back. Don't blame yourself. Don't be hard with yourself. It is understandable because of the habit of lifetime. But in a short time, you can transform. All these things can be transformed. Don't worry if you fail a few times. Look at a child, a baby. They have no teacher. And he wants to walk. How many times he falls over? Hundreds of times, but he keeps getting back up. And then in a short time, he's walking on his own. A baby is doing it, what I'm asking you to do. Doesn't matter if your mind comes, and you can't live your life under the bed, looking out at life. You're going to get a few knocks, and the knocks are important. You must not give up, you keep trying. And what I'm pointing you to, okay, is a shortcut to freedom. You can spend many years in spiritual practice, and it has its place. But for some people, they said, I've already spent many years. I spent many years, I learned a lot of things, but what is missing is the experience. I said, then come here then and look with me. And you'll begin to see from your heart, what I'm speaking. I wish I could show you these things, some of these videos of people who really, you would feel society has forgot about them. They're too far gone. They are too far gone. And watch them. Watch the Buddha nature coming back into them. Watch the Christ consciousness, the Christ light coming back into them. Just through this understanding I'm pointing. I'm not promoting it. I'm just sharing it with you. If you have the ears to hear it, then you will follow and you will see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
So my question will link back to what you said about the self, and I have a question because I always wonder, I'll give an example. If I take your watch and you don't know where it is, and I'm the only one who knows that I have your watch, and you can ask me, but I say, no, I don't have your watch. So I'm the only one that is witnessing everything that I do. That's what you said about the self. So don't you think that the thing inside which knows everything what we do, like if I have curry this morning or for lunch or whatever, only me knows that I had this, whoever asks. So do you think that this person inside is just like God, that we always try and search outside for gods, like Shiva or Jesus or whoever, and I think that, or do you also believe that the God or the self that you described is actually within us? So,
in a way, I can say everything is within. I can say that. But I will not say that absolutely. There's nothing I'm going to say to you absolutely, because human beings have tried for a long time to use words which are relative to speak things which are absolute. And I find that that is very limiting way. So I can say sometimes, yes, all is within you, all is your own self, but you may not have the capacity to understand the words I'm speaking and what I mean by that. So you say that, I was not even clear what you were saying there about I know what I've done. I know what I've done.
No, I meant that there's always someone inside the self. It's not my mind, but there's something that is always witnessing us.
Let me explain what it is. The witnessing is not even witnessing an us. The us is an invention. It just witnesses. It doesn't witness with any particular interest, in fact. Maybe the witness is not the best word, but just like everything that arises can only be said to arise because you're aware of it in that time. But it itself, in the pure witnessing space, is not interested in what is going on, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't mean it like that. It might mean that for the mind, they say, oh yes, somebody, fell into the river this morning and so on, so on, so. But the pure self is not looking like that. That seeing is not the same way. How can I explain this? Because the person is interested in personal life and personal projection. But the self does not acknowledge any person. There's no person particularly. There's just the self. You see, this is why I don't trust to tell you about it like that. I prefer that you experience yourself. Follow the simple pointing, and through that door you go into yourself. You will come to know. It will reveal, through waves of illumination will come to you when you have the capacity to understand them. If you just ask questions, it's not just, you can't even understand what, you just have a mental understanding of it.
No, what I mean is like we always search outside for God, for
Okay.
like a figure of God, and we always say that God is built like ourselves or has the same, looks like us, kind of. But isn't it that we have to go inside us to find God and actually realize that we are all God ourselves? Like,
Yes, it has
so
to be something.
like everyone here is sitting next to me has their own like this mind that is observing them, like what they're doing, what they're thinking, what they're, their being.
Yes,
so
all I'm
actually,
saying there is that the level of interest in the activities vary according to your maturity as being. At first you are interested because the ego can also observe, but it observes with self-interest. It's very different. And so a deeper observation, the true observation, must be impersonal, because the person always will add some private interpretation based upon their conditioning and so on. I call that also something observable. But if you only had 1 minute to find things out, what would be the question you'd want to ask?
if God really exists.
Yes. Do you exist? If you exist, God exists. What I mean by this is that somehow, if you feel your own existence, then you must be able to look and see that there's a supreme power that is functioning in all the beings, all the bodies, not just human bodies. And that this is not just an arbitrary kind of like malfunctioning of something. That is a deep wisdom, a deep intelligence is guiding the activities of this world. And you know it is not you personally, that some power is doing it. If you want to, you may refer to that power as God. It means the supreme intelligence. It's not necessarily a person. You may see it in the form of a person until you can go beyond the limitation of this limited personal projection, yes. And our basic language is not just English or Hindi. Our basic language is consciousness. It's because of consciousness that we can communicate with each other.
Yeah, that's true, but like, for example, there's so many religions. One has Christ, one has Mohammed, the other has Vishnu.
Yes.
And like, if you take yourself outside of all these and just watch and observe what they're doing, it's just a habit.
No, you don't know what they're doing. What your observation is still based upon your projection and your conditioning. You don't know anything about what anybody's doing. You only know how it looks to you through your conditioning. You're only reading surfaces. You can say, oh, look what they're doing, look how they're treating this person so badly, but you don't know the story of it. You don't know. You're only looking at the surface. We are doing this all the time. Hindus are looking at Muslims and think they know Muslims, the Muslim mind, and Muslims are looking at Hindus, think they don't know the Muslim mind, but they don't know in the way that you believe you do. We are just judging surfaces. We can't help doing that because we do it from a place of fear and vulnerability. But if you're really looking from the place of love, your eyes will see differently. Your being would express differently. Your vibration will be different. If there is one cricket match being played and you have 100 commentators commenting about it, they will each give a different flavor, their own interpretation of what they're seeing. Yet the match is only whatever it is. So who is giving the most accurate picture? Each one will speak according to their conditioning, you see. We like to think that we have the best view, that we have the most right view. But in that field, it's only arrogance. You don't know. You cannot know this world only through your studies and your conditioning. You cannot know it in that way. Those who have really gone inside know that that's not the path to go. You must empty yourself of your own conditioning because it is a prejudice. Become empty, and when you're empty, another presence will, not even another presence other than your personality presence will awaken in you, and you will see with much greater, you will see with the eyes of love and with wisdom and universality. But with your common, localized mind, you will not see that, you will not be able to assess anybody. Everything is a prejudice. Everything is a bias. You have to effectively go through some kind of meltdown to really be empty enough to begin to see things as they are. And even seeing things as they are is not really that important. First, you must come to understand what is really here. Understand and be that. And not just somehow its self-portrait as a person is totally inadequate to begin to comprehend the things of God or the things of truth. Each believe what they want.
Namaste.
Namaste.
I just wanted to ask, in theory, we know all this, about self-actualization, about your true self. We have heard, but being every day busy in our own life, okay, earning our livelihood at this age, what are the practical ways which we can use or we can apply to go more closer to ourselves or to that level of self-actualization?
It depends upon the strength of the urge also. I can give you a simple exercise. If you want to practice, you can practice simply just start with the sense of being, the sense of I in you. And if you don't decorate that with lots of opinions and stories and stuff, and just stay with a sense of presence, which is common to all sentient beings. You exist, but don't give a lot of story to that, but just stay in the energy of that presence. And don't combine that with any other thought or sensation. To sit in that stillness, even for short periods of time. You will stop hemorrhaging energy that goes just through foolish thinking. And you'll find that somehow a sense of a kind of concentrated field of presence is with you. And it will feel delicious. It will feel very peaceful and open and fearless and silent and joyful. And you'll want more of it actually. So I will start a simple answer for you just like that. Sit with just the feeling of stillness. Don't go with a checklist of things that you want to accomplish. Empty yourselves of your mental projections and opinions, and even the sense of your identity. Just leave everything to the side like that, and be completely empty. And also, don't be waiting for something to happen. Just sit in your emptiness and get used to being in that state as often as you wish. 2-3 times a day if you want, for 10 minutes, that will be good. In the beginning, you may find that there's some thought activity that is, and you'll feel, oh no, I can't concentrate. But don't give up, just keep doing and sit for as long as you can without identifying with the things you're perceiving. Focus just on the sense of being. That is a tremendous exercise to do. And gradually, unexpectedly, you'll find that there's a strength in you that you have not discovered before. There's a stillness inside, and it comes with a joy and a sense of expansiveness. Just this, if you want, because I'm here, I've been told just now, it's time, and I have to share with you as much as I'm able to, and as much as you can take. And so I give forward this simple exercise. If you do this, I can guarantee, if you're genuine, in a few days you'll just know that you're doing something that's the most beautiful thing. Okay? And continue doing your work, continue doing what you have to do, but keep putting some time just to go behind the facade of personality into your space of being. Just be your being and be just conscious of that. Don't be thinking about anything. Don't try and work out anything. Don't try to be spiritual. Don't remember who you are. Just be empty of everything. And somehow that can just be felt in you. That's a simple thing. Because from here, if you keep this up, you will discover your inner teacher. Okay? You will begin to discover your inner teacher. It will just begin to keep sending you become aware of things in a way that is so profound, and just like this, it comes at the appropriate time. It comes like that. If you want a simple way, I love simple ways, then please exercise that, put that into some practice. When you are sufficiently steadfast in this, then if we have the chance, come and sit with me again, and we see how much further you can go in this. You see? It is not easy if you're not accustomed to looking, because for many people we have spent time together, they know now they have the power to bring a chaotic mind back into stillness. They have this power. And I would pick on any one of them and point them and say, okay, you have the power. Your mind is going like, whoa, tsunami. And I say, just bring your stillness. And they can do it. They can simply rest in the place I'm telling you, and everything calm down. You can do it. But maybe in the beginning you feel, oh, I don't know if I'm ready, I still have a lot of cleaning to do, and I don't know, my parents are not spiritual, and oh my God, this is you. You can find this, and I'd recommend that. It's a simple exercise, and the rest you may find, I see you in a short while, and you say, I've been listening to your satsangs, and somehow now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting it. There are some people who came to satsangs, 3 months, they say, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know anything about this nothing, But why you keep going? I don't know, something just feels like I have to go. And after a short time, they are laughing, so happy, like this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before I leave, I would like to say to those of you who maybe are listening for the first time, if you feel some resonance, some opening, some interest in these things, you can come. I'm here for another few weeks, a couple of weeks or so in Rishikesh. Come and sit in the satsangs, or you may watch some of the YouTubes. There are many, many YouTubes. And what is it about? It's all about you. It's all about us. It's all about you. I'm not talking about your granny or your cat, it's all about you. You'll find. Whatever we are speaking is soul food for you. It's just, you can use it. You can use it as a mirror to somehow see into your deepest being. It is only an encouragement and an invitation to you. And I leave you with this blessing that for everyone, may your deepest and truest longing be fulfilled. May those of you who have this urge in your heart to awaken to the truth, may you come swiftly to the full realization of the truth in the heart and be timelessly happy and free. May your light shine so brightly that all those who meet you on the way of life be touched and inspired by your openness, your peace and love, your joy, your silence, so that they may be inspired enough to search inside themselves to find the light that they see in you. For those of you whose time has come, to go inside more, to awaken to the eternal truth, may it be so for you. May your life be blessed with this perfect understanding that sets your heart free. I have nothing more joyful arising in my heart to share with you than this. And so go your way in full peace and be liberated in this lifetime. While your body is warm, may you find that which is imperishable. Let it be so. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste.
पतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारिणी वन्दे पनगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवन्दिनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दं प्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनार्दनं च वरधरं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम् शिव 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 शम्भो शिव 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 शम्भो
शिव 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 शम्भो शिव 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 शम्भो
शिव 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 शम्भो